Chris Dunn spent 34 years, 2 months, and 9 days behind bars, wrongfully serving a sentence for a crime he maintained he did not commit. Surviving 3 heart attacks, he was worried he would die in prison. Until exactly 1 year ago today, July 30th, 2024, after all this time, justice. We spent the past year following Chris Dunn's adjustment to a world that moved on without him. Smartphones, social media, and newfound freedom that he has to learn how to use. Tonight, our in-depth report, Exonerated, a year on the outside.
You guys ready to have an adventure?
Oh, sure. Ever been in the safari before?
Never.
All right.
Last time I've been to a zoo, I think I was like 9 years old.
Okay.
Christopher Dunn hasn't had a chance to visit a zoo since he was a child.
Look at that.
Who would have ever thought a kid from the inner city of St. Louis would have to go through 34 years of what I went through in order to understand the concept of life?
Mm-hmm.
This is freedom.
After spending his entire adult life behind bars, feels a certain kinship with these animals.
Because we inmates, or we were inmates. But still, you got to prove to them that my life matters just as much as yours. So it's just like these animals are. I know some of these animals are rescued. I know some of these animals can't go back to the environment. Because if they did, they would become a victim. So it's just like being let out of prison. Linsey, when I left, they didn't give me nothing.
Right.
I'm gonna get you a nice little viewing spot. Look at this animal, the southern white rhino.
How does it feel for you just being in this open expanse, sun on your face, wind?
I used to say that I couldn't recognize what justice or hope looked like. I can now. The sun is on my face, and I feel it. But I felt it the day I walked out of prison. I don't hate anybody for what happened, but I'm not gonna forget.
When we first met Dunn 3 years ago, he was in shackles, biding his time in prison after being convicted of murder. In the Missouri South Central Correctional Center, he was known as inmate 181654. But Dunn has always seen himself very simply as a wrongful conviction.
Are you concerned that you might die before being able to be vindicated?
To be honest with you, yeah.
Dunn was just 18 years old in 1990 when he was accused of fatally shooting 15-year-old Rico Rogers on the front steps of a friend's house in St. Louis, Missouri.
I fear that the truth of what happened to me may never be known.
He was sentenced to life in prison plus 90 years for a murder he is adamant he did not commit, maintaining he was home on the phone when it happened. But 2 young teens testified he was the shooter, and his public defender talked him into accepting a plea deal to avoid the death penalty.
Missouri called themselves the show me state. They showed me nothing except that they refused to admit their wrongs. You can't have hope in the justice system. Hope died a long time ago.
That changed 25 years ago when Kira Kaywood, a young reporter assigned to write about his story, started putting the pieces together and decided Dunn might be telling the truth, and just maybe he was innocent after all.
People say that they're innocent
Yes.
when they're really guilty. So what stood out to you about Chris that you believed him?
I reviewed the police interviews of the witnesses versus what they said in court. It didn't line up.
She hired a private investigator who was able to prove Dunn's innocence, tracking down Michael Davis, a key witness who testified Dunn did not commit the murder.
Is there anything in your mind that has changed with your statement or with your version of events?
Still the same thing. I didn't see nothing.
In 2020, reviewing the case, it was brought before a judge who ruled, based on the evidence, no jury today would convict him of the crime.
You really thought
Yes.
justice was going to be done?
It's just hard. I'm tired.
But freedom remained elusive. A Missouri law bars an inmate who's not facing the death penalty from presenting new evidence for a new trial.
You would have been better off had you been given a death sentence than the life plus 90 years.
The judge said I was innocent. The circuit attorney for the city of St. Louis says that I'm innocent. Why can't you free me?
What would you do if you were to be freed?
I want to get on the first thing smoking about in Missouri. I don't want to look back. I want to walk up out this door, walk up that hill, and stand out there for everybody who couldn't walk out for themselves.
In July of 2024, he was prepared to do just that after a St. Louis circuit judge overturned Dunn's murder conviction, ordering his immediate release under a new Missouri law, which allows prosecutors to request hearings to present evidence to correct mistakes that were made in their jurisdiction. Dunn's freedom seemed certain until the Attorney General stepped in and blocked his release.
Just as Dunn was about to get out, the Missouri Supreme Court halted it per Bailey's request.
But then, on July 30th of last year, it finally happened. The moment that eluded him for more than 34 years. Dunn walked out a free man. And by his side, that reporter, Kira Kaywood, now his wife, after a prison ceremony 10 years earlier.
St. Louis, listen, it was 34 years ago that they took me away from you. And it should have been this long.
What was the moment like when you saw Mom?
She just put a little bit of head down. So I walked my little butt on over there and grabbed my mom's, and to hear her sob in my arms, it hurted, but it felt good, because I never thought I would ever get that opportunity to hug her again in a free world.
What was that night, that first week like? Opening it up, doors coming and going as you please?
The first night that we had the chance to be a couple, I stood in the hotel room and just opened up the windows, overlooked the skyline of St. Louis. That was all new to me. In prison, we didn't have that.
The Dunns chose to begin their life together in San Diego, some 1,500 miles away from Missouri. We were there as they arrived to their new home.
Nothing prepared me for this. However, I'm ready for it. All I can say, man, goodbye, Missouri. I love California. And hopefully, my journey here, it'll be much more different than it was where I come from.
What's been the best part of being out?
Being able to just walk outside and stand on the sidewalks and look up and down the street. Being able to wake up and not hear count time.
Getting acclimated to this brave new world is a new challenge. When Dunn was put behind bars, he never had a cell phone. A dozen eggs were about $1, and Google didn't exist. Since 1989, Dunn is one of more than 3,000 people who've been released from prison due to wrongful convictions.
You served almost 35 years for a crime you always were adamant that you did not commit. Are you bitter? How do you feel?
I'm not mad, upset, angry, because all it would be is like a brick holding me down or an anchor holding me back. I wouldn't be able to move forward. Sure, it hurts. I'm not gonna sit here and dispel the truth. The fact is, 34 years, 2 months and 9 days of my life, my youth, was taken from me. And even though I'm sitting here with you today, I still lost that. I can never recover it. Well, here we go, baby.
The San Diego Public Defender's Office heard about Dunn and asked him to share his story to help others.
This is my way of paying it forward. This is my way of giving back to my elders who taught me how to defend those who couldn't defend themselves.
He's also been tapped to speak by the NAACP.
If I would have had somebody in my corner like me, I would love for people to be able to see what I just went through and still have some understanding that hope does exist, but you got to start to believe in it. But still, hopefully people will see through you that you're able to help illuminate the darkness. This is beautiful.
While trying to be a beacon of light for others, Dunn is also trying to adjust to the possibility that he could still have a bright future beyond this dizzying first year of freedom.
This thing here cost $400 and something.
Kind of like whatever you need to do and to feel good and comfortable and happy, I'm behind it, 100%.
Filled with so many firsts. Flying on an airplane. Learning to drive.
How's it feel, babe?
Natural.
Going to a baseball game.
It's an adjustment. I went in as a kid and came out as a man. And no matter who that person is, I could have easily not went to prison and still been stuck in the same neighborhood and not have the blessing that I have right now.
What has Kira been for you throughout all this?
Wow. Kira has been by my side for 26 and a half years. Kira has been there for me when all others have failed. And it's an understatement by saying that she's my best friend, because to me, she's more than that. She was that lifeline. There's a lot, Linsey, that I would love to do, especially with her. She's the only one I want to do it with.
I look at him every day and I'm just amazed, and he's my hero still, just like he was back then.
We can get really close. You guys come follow me this way.
All decked out in matching outfits, they strolled hand in hand through the San Diego Zoo, taking in the animals. But his story doesn't end here. The state of Missouri isn't quite done with Chris Dunn.
People keep asking me, how do I feel and how am I embracing my new life of freedom? Technically, I'm still locked up because I still fear the sound of the sirens running. Or I still fear knowing that it's a possibility that they can just uproot me and snatch me away and put me back into a Missouri penitentiary.
Despite two separate Missouri judges determining his innocence, about 9 months after his release, the Missouri Supreme Court ruled that the state attorney general can appeal Dunn's release. And the Missouri AG did just that, arguing the state has a legal interest in preserving the finality of its convictions. ABC News reached out to the Attorney General's office multiple times for comment, but did not hear back. And so the case now returns to the Missouri Court of Appeals. The notion that his innocence is deemed less important than the public image of the Missouri justice system is yet another black eye for Dunn. A man still trying to get back on his feet after decades of devastating blows.
What scares you?
Not being able to take care of my family. It's always what if. I'm scared of the what if. Because I don't want to go to prison for something I didn't do again. I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring, but whatever it is, we're gonna face it together though.
We are so grateful for the time that Chris Dunn allowed us to spend with him.